If you are playing too safe, that means you're not maximizing your potential. Maybe you won't really experience the failure in the sense that we are describing. This is what is the essence of learning philosophy. I have seen that peer group can scare you, peer group can really challenge you, peer group can bring you along, but peer group can also drag you down. I have had.
Meet Sai Poguluru, a dynamic force in the tech world with over 30 years of global experience. As a CTO, CIO, and CISO, Sai is a highly sought-after leader in security, data, cloud, agile, and digital transformation. His expertise spans across continents, having delivered services in a global delivery model that includes India, Singapore, Malaysia, North America, South America, and Europe. Sai's leadership is marked by his ability to manage large global teams using a follow-the-sun model, ensuring mission-critical operations run smoothly 24/7. His entrepreneurial spirit led him to establish and lead successful sourcing advisory, application development, and BPO services from India to numerous clients in North and South America. With a knack for handling large outsourcing deals in technology, Sai has overseen contracts worth billions of dollars, spanning 5 to 10 years. His strategic vision was instrumental in leading the API and open banking mandate for a major financial institution. Currently, Sai holds the dual roles of CISO and head of IT operations at YNCU. Beyond his professional achievements, Sai is passionate about mentoring the next generation of leaders. He serves on the program advisory committee of Conestoga College and mentors startup founders through the Tree Frog Accelerator and Schulich Startup Program. Sai's academic credentials are equally impressive, holding an MBA from the Kellogg Schulich School of Business and an engineering degree, along with several patents to his name. His journey is a testament to his dedication, innovation, and commitment to excellence in the tech industry.
Hello, Sai. Welcome to CLTV Podcast. I appreciate your time here, and I'm so happy that you have accepted. You have given your time to come over and speak to us today and take us through your journey. Amazing, sir. A little bit about CLTV before we get into it. CLTV is a Canadian YouTube channel wherein which we are focused mostly on Telugu cultural thought process. But then we are evolving, and I'm trying to get in more people like you so that we learn from you, as well as sticking this English so that people who listen to this podcast or watch this interview would also learn something from it, sir. As I said that, please take us through your journey, Sai, and enlighten us. How do we become successful as you are?
First of all, thank you very much, Shashank, for giving me an opportunity to interact with you. For me, I really enjoy these interactions, and as much as you share, you learn through every interaction is my strong belief. So like you said, we'll keep it in English. I I'll shed a little bit of a light. It's been an exciting journey. When you ask me this question, kind of my thought process is going on. Where did I start? I had a very humble beginning in the sense I went to a school where academic excellence is not necessarily on the top, right? Like very few graduated from elementary school, which is grade 10 in India. But a lot of interest in sports and other curricular activities as well. So till grade 6, I had ups and downs, but grade 6 was a very turbulent year for me. I was not sure where I'm going academically, right? Like I thought that maybe I will end up being a school dropout kind of thing. Because challenging year, too many teachers turning around, but from there, luckily I picked up. I was able to balance my academics as well as sports and extracurricular activities. I've been active in field hockey. I played at district levels, and we've been winners. And I've been fortunate to be part of the Scouts movement, and I received a President Scout medal at that time. Without giving my age away, Gnani Jail Singh was the president at that time. So I received, and really, I've been part of traffic safety, and that's where like my public speaking has really took seed in there. I was given an opportunity to talk about public safety and traffic safety. That was the first thing. Okay, I took a chance, and that was really a moment of my pride because I didn't know that my dad was in the audience, and then he came and congratulated me afterwards when I took the third prize home. So that was my elementary school beginning. After that, there were a few different opportunities at that time to do grade 11 and 12. It's called intermediate, and then you can do engineering or any other degree. But I took a slightly different route. I did my polytechnic, which is like a trade school. It is a 3.5 years of school, 3 years of academic, 6 months of industrial training or co-op, that these days we call it, right? I was really thrown into a group that was academically excellent group. I almost got scared that will I even survive this, even though I was kind of putting a brave face on it. Even today I say this and they don't believe, hey, did you go through that? Absolutely. Today I have PhDs in my peer group that I'm really proud of, and they really set the bar very high for me. It was scary. At the same time, I learned so much from them. I got inspired, but quite a few times I got scared. Will I be able to live up to this? I signed up for something, I'm not sure. So then after that, I started working at an early age, and all my kind of undergrad engineering and then masters was like while working. So I did my MBA in Kellogg Schulich with Canada and US partnership there, and I have been fortunate again to get a global experience. I worked while in India with Europe, Australia, and few other countries, North America being one of them. But once I landed in US, I really had a global career working closely with European counterparts. Moved to Canada, been here for more than 2 decades. I traveled widely, Singapore, Malaysia, and other parts of Asia and South America heavily. I can almost speak a little bit of Portuguese to survive. Eu sou aprendendo Portuguese. You go to a new country, the best way to learn their culture is to embrace the language. So I've been fortunate to do that. Since that, I have had an entrepreneurial stint for a few years, and wide-ranging corporate career with multiple different roles, primarily in technology and business, but I also took a few interesting challenges outside the core technology and business.
Wonderful, sir. So looks like you've been exposed to great minds right from the beginning of your right from the younger age of yours, and that kind of built your mindset. So take us through, like, what do you think is the impact of the peers on you right from your childhood? Because you just mentioned, I guess it was in the plus two, right? After plus two, so where in which you were exposed to greatest minds of your time. So take us through, what do you think? Let's approach it your way as well as the philosophical way, because um, I guess it's all in the peers who we roam around with, right? They're going to
Yes.
influence us, the content we consume, and the ideas which we think about, the ideas which we ponder upon, these all things. So do you mind giving us an example of this from your life, and as well as emphasis more on the philosophy of being with the right circle, the satsang,
Yeah.
to be precise.
No, absolutely. See, I didn't really think a lot when I was going through this phase in life, right? See, the philosophy says that 25% of your knowledge from your teachers or gurus, 25% you reflect on it, 25% is peer group and 25% over the period of time. I don't want to throw the Sanskrit sloka, but this is what is the essence of learning philosophy. I have seen that peer group can scare you, peer group can really challenge you, peer group can bring you along, but peer group can also drag you down. I have had all of these examples with me and my fellows. I've been very fortunate, I would say that since my early age till now, I learned so much from my peers, especially in the forming ages. I really looked up to my peers and they really helped me if I'm really falling behind in certain areas. One area that we all wanted to pick on is a couple of us got together and say, this guy is really good in language. Can we really approach this guy? He's our same classmate, but see, people look up to each other in a respectful way, and we approach and say, hey, can we do this? Similarly, we all have unique strengths. When we can learn from each other, that's such a nice ecosystem that builds, like you said, that we have so much of influence on each other.
Mm.
There is a fun aspect of it. I'm not saying they don't have fun, but if you limit it and try to respect the skills, you will learn from each other and it becomes a lifetime bonding.
Beautiful. So basically, what you're suggesting is that be like be the magnet which attracts the right material, and so that you can melt it and make it iron object or something.
Absolutely.
Very weird comparison, but I'm not that poetic as you are, so obviously I'm not able to put it properly. But I understood that. So it's all in the attitude. So do you think the uh, the success which you have seen is because of that? Basically, I'm trying to understand what is, your secret, your particular secret, or probably the set of principles which you followed, so that you have attained what you wanted to attain in your life.
See, again, when I look back, I didn't really have set of principles that guided me or set of goals that I set. I really wanted to be successful. Again, each one have a definition of success, right? At some point in time, you want a certain level of academic success. Like you need to come out successfully, complete a certain kind of whether it is undergrad or degree, and be known or recognized by your peers as someone knowledgeable. Then you wanted to kind of get into a certain type of job and be recognized as somebody who's good or really skilled at it. As sometimes that becomes okay, I wanted to become this go-to person. See, I came from a school that was not really academically challenging, right? So I said that, like, okay, now how can I impress? I went to tutoring because my school never completed the syllabus for grade 9 and 10. I realized that if I don't do that, I will be significantly behind. So I went to tutoring just for math. And in that math tutoring, the peer group was again totally in the top minds from that city. So I said that, okay, I need to make an impression. So I really memorized the logarithmic table and said, okay, then all of a sudden, for fun, people started asking me instead of looking into the book. And that really created a big, it's a mutual respect, not a show off, but then I also learned other things from the peer group, right? Like, so like that, you need to pick on something where your inner strength is. Uh, Show that not in an arrogant way, but demonstrate it so that others could really gain respect for what you could bring to the table. Sometimes we don't know what we have as an inner potential, right? That is
Mm.
one thing that we don't stretch ourselves a little bit, challenge ourselves.
So I guess, if we have to achieve what we want to achieve in our lives, we need to do that experimentation with us. We have to ensure that we hang out with the right people, get the right, so that we get the right information. And what you just mentioned, the stretching of our the thought process, the sense of taking up the challenges as they come our way, that kind of enables us a beautiful path towards the success. Amazing, sir.
Yes.
Having said that, what is your take on the idea of failure? So, because the reason why I'm asking you is this, because you have a pretty big career, what you have been through, and you have seen a lot of people. You have seen, I'm sure you have seen a lot of successes as well as some failures, which enabled the success again. So, failures are scary, right? So, because they'll impact us mentally and physically, sometimes financially. So, have you been through any of that kind of situations where you've, I mean, predominantly, I guess you mentioned about the entrepreneurship. What you have, so do you have you uh, met any failures in that process? Very blunt question, probably. I'm sorry for that,
No,
but I
no,
really wanted to
absolutely.
understand.
No,
Yeah.
no, this is really all I'm trying to share is to inspire someone else. Failure is a natural part of evolution, right? So if you are playing too safe, that means you're not maximizing your potential. Maybe you won't really experience the failure in the sense that we are describing. So the initial challenge or failure, however people would like to phrase it, is I missed my campus interviews for a personal reason where I had to be with my family. When I came back, all the campus interviews are gone. I did make a couple of initial rounds and I was positioned for final interviews and all, but I couldn't really make it to those. Some I didn't get it, some I was decently positioned to be the top runner. I didn't. So when I came back, it was really tough because our polytechnic school attracted campus interviews, which is very unique at that time, and I missed it. So if you say that as a setback or a challenge or a failure, since then I had to really start a career with significant lower salary, and they said that 3 months you perform will double your salary, was the kind of offer thrown. I said that, you know what, something is better than nothing. Somebody is throwing a challenge at me. I'm not even sure whether I can live up, but inside me I said that no, this is something that I should really work towards. Again, I've been fortunate to have, we call seniors, but that is like people who have been in that workforce for some time in the same organization. They helped me really learn. And within 3 months, I was completely on my own attending service calls. Naturally, they fulfilled the promise that they made. So for me, it started as really taking a significant step back to even start my career where I was well positioned for a significant pay. To earn that, it took me 3 months of proving myself. That really said, okay, if I could do this, anybody can do this.
Hmm.
Because I was in a bit of a self-doubt, and people said that prove to me if you really deserve this. I said that I'll take this
So which
opportunity.
which year, like at what time was this happening, and
This
which
is
year?
right out of my polytechnic. So after grade 10, and then I finished in 3.5 years, my 19th year kind of thing.
19 years. Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So we are talking about 19. What is the year? 19
1990s.
1990s. So I'm sure the opportunities out there at that particular point of time, not just in India, elsewhere as well, it's pretty lean, right? Because the industrialization was happening on a rapid phase all through the world, but specifically in Indian context, it was growing, I guess, because I was just born around that time, not little bit behind, around in 1980s. But that, yeah, amazing, sir. So so I'm learning a lot of things in today's discussion, to be precise. So I have one follow-up question regarding the aspect of failure and what you just said. So Do you think there is a magic formula, or do you think there is something which someone who is frequently failing upon doing anything, probably career, relationships, or it could be anything, right? Because is there any magic formula which one can follow and come out of the realm of failures?
Again, failure and success are the way that we define, right? It is the philosophical aspect of it, but there is a meaning. If one feels that they are failing, there is something to it, right? You cannot say that it's only your perception or feeling that you're actually not. So they have set an attribute of success they have not met. So, like people say that it is the silver medalist psychology, right? Like silver medalist, like the famous comedian, without quoting his name, used to say that he is the number one loser. That means the gold medalist is a winner, but silver medalist is not the runner-up. If you take the mindset, I'm the number one loser, that really demotivates you. But if you say that I have come as close and I could be the winner, sometimes your success or failure, if you put it in the metric of relative terms, relative to others, it may not be really compelling for you to say that I succeeded. But if you say that I wanted to make a team of 12, that means I wanted to be in the final, or I wanted to make a team of 20, I'm okay to sit on the bench, but I made it to the final. So these are all relative. Going back to your question, how do you come out of it is make sure that you do a SWOT analysis. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are the opportunities? What are the threats? Sometimes there are only three things available, and your strengths may not be sufficient to put you on the pedestal, right? That
Yeah.
means you are aspiring for something that may not be quite possible for you with the current situation and the current competition and your skills at the time. That means you're positioning yourself to potentially not be successful. But if you have a mindset where you want to really give yourself the full credit for the effort that went in
Mm,
and not the outcome alone, then you'll be happy. You say that, you know what, I took this challenge, you know what, I really went as close as I could get, and you will celebrate that. But if you say that only success is defined as making the one of the top three slots there,
mm,
then it's being too hard on yourself. I'm not saying that you cannot achieve. I read a great book called Tragedy to Triumph. There are 100 stories.
mm-hmm.
One story that really stands out to me is there was one girl around 14. She really lost her leg movement because of polio. Everybody said that you cannot even walk on your feet. Long story short, she became an Olympian runner. So she bounced back. She said that, no, I cannot accept this. But that kind of a grit
Mm,
may not be possible sometimes physically, right? She overcame and things really lined up in her favor, but she has that really defying attitude, right? Like, I don't want to accept the status quo. That means
beautiful.
like you believe in yourself and you're willing to put whatever it takes.
Mm, amazing. So basically, when the idea of failure itself is, we should treat it as a sense of encouragement, I guess. I mean, that's how I'm listening what you're trying to say. So if I'm um, if I'm continuously failing in something, that literally means, probably the Thomas Alva Edison example, wherein which I have found, when you know that, right? Like
Yeah.
the 100 ways of not making a light bulb rather than
Yeah.
finding out that one way. Amazing, sir. So do you think this attitude is is helpful for us to achieve whatever we want in life. So, because I see this is a continuous trait in most of the people whom the world perceives to be successful. So, what are your comments on that?
Yeah, I mean, I have come across so many people successful as they're defined in any dimension that you see. They have this real belief and they refuse to accept the status quo, right? Like they wanted to redefine what does it take. So that kind of a continuous belief in oneself, and you have to put that effort, but you need to enjoy that effort. Say, like if you put the, okay, I'm kind of pouring all of this and only you are expecting the outcome, not able to see the incremental improvement in your skills, capabilities. Sometimes even the recognitions don't come incrementally, but you should be able to see yourself kind of gaining that, right? Like if you are not able to measure some other way of how you're progressing towards that, then you're not really that closed loop feedback system. I'm an engineer, so the closed loop feedback system is not working, right? So if you wanted to get fit, like at one point in time, I gained significant weight. I lost 45 pounds, and then luckily I kind of stayed back. Then I took some professional help, right? Like to say that how to be, okay, you need to eat well, you need to sleep well, you need to get up well. But for me, that magic number was not there. I got onto the treadmill, I could barely run for 3 minutes.
Hmm.
In 3 months, I could run for 90 minutes. So, but when I'm moving from 3 to 5 to 10, I enjoyed those milestones, irrespective of my scale is tilting or not. If the scale is not tilting as fast as I wanted, then I'm not going to enjoy the journey. I didn't expect the result to come that fast. I was ready for a longer run to reach my goals. I didn't have a magic number, but I really said that I want more energy. I wanted to
Hmm.
feel really energized to do whatever I feel like. I wanted to go out, enjoy outdoors. I wanted to work and still have some fun in the evening by playing a game or two.
Amazing, sir. So I see we need to enjoy the process. We need to enjoy the journey, right?
Yes.
Um, go at the same time, go along with the flow, but steer ourselves the way we want it to go. I guess that's um, that's how I am listening to it. Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, you need to take help of an ecosystem that you need to build, right? Like,
Yeah,
don't
that's
think that
yeah.
you don't need to be alone. There are people out there, amazing people out there that are willing to help.
Hmm.
Lot of people are there that are not going to judge you. They
Hmm.
are really genuinely passionate about. See, fitness, there are so many genuine people that are really passionate about fitness. But you might come across one or two people that might be a little critical. Hey, you're cheating on what you're eating, you're not sleeping well, you're not drinking water well. That's why
Hmm.
don't take that too hard. Like,
Makes sense. Makes sense. So, so uh, you've been through a lot in your career, right? So, ha take us through your journey in your entrepreneurship, sir, and what did you learn from it? Has there been any challenges? Have there been, you know, anything which you want to share for people like us who wants to build their own career in entrepreneurship?
yeah, so there are two parts. I'll just focus on the entrepreneurship first, and then we can touch on maybe the progression in career. So, in terms of entrepreneurship, I would say that sometimes your professional career options or opportunities that are there may not be able to quench the thirst that you have because you wanted to do so many things. Sometimes small and mid enterprises give you opportunities to play different roles, wear multiple hats. So you can be part of an entrepreneurial organization, right? Like sometimes people use the term entrepreneurship or entrepreneurial spirit that means you are really working hard and long. That is it. It doesn't mean that you are really significantly expanding your skill set or getting the feeling that I am part of the success of this organization. I am able to contribute to it. So depending on where you are in your career, you need to make those kind of choices. Ask, what do I want? When can I define? Am I attributing the entrepreneurship to a certain type of financial reward that I'm expecting? Or lot of times financial reward is one dimension for sure, but recognition. Some organizations have a culture of reward and recognition beyond monetary. Sometimes you want a social recognition. Sometimes you want your peer group to recognize. Sometimes you want your family to recognize as somebody successful. So all of these things. But sometimes entrepreneurship is driven by a gap that you see in any field of passion that is unaddressed, and you think that by addressing those needs, it will make a significant difference for certain people or certain gaps that are really setting the society, uh, like the world behind, kind of a thing. There are, I mean, depending on the field of choice, right? So then it really is the motivation, not necessarily financial success, right? Sometimes there are social entrepreneurs that we call it. They are really working towards a cause. They wanted to make a significant difference. There is no clean water in certain part of the world. I wanted to make a difference. I want to raise funds. I want to go there, do that. There are certain people in the society not getting opportunities to get a quality of education or level of education. I wanted to make. So depending on the dimension or the area that passionate or motivates you, you pick that, define the success, and then go after it. Initially, the success may not come, but entrepreneurs really don't really get swayed away by the success or failure that easily, right? They
Yeah,
have the grit to continue, persist, but at the same time, they are not blindly going, right? They will
yeah.
look back every day. SWOT analysis and retrospectives are the way of life in an entrepreneur
Sorry to
journey.
interrupt you, sir. For sake of a general audience, what is SWOT analysis?
Yeah, SWOT analysis is every individual should really look at their strengths. That means some people are naturally good in math. Some people are naturally good in taking an idea and communicating effectively. Some people are naturally good in visual representation arts. Weakness. Sometimes you have, even academically, you have 10 subjects, 6 subjects. 5 of them you might be really good. One area is really not your strength. Sometimes you cannot just nurture your strengths, you also have to work on your weaknesses. Opportunity is this based on your strength. There are certain areas, if you pick and advance, whether it is academically or professionally or in an entrepreneurial, sometimes there are gaps that are not addressed. Some areas, the fintech growth is also very good representation, right? Unbanked, underbanked areas people have taken and really focused on that area of a gap, and that is the opportunity. Threat is naturally, there is a threat from existing players who wanted to question the status quo, or threat could come in a regulation or some other way. You need to be aware and you position your strengths to address the opportunities in a way that your weaknesses or threats don't drag you down from achieving your target.
Wonderful. Thanks a lot for explaining on that. So basically, SWOT, strengths, weakness, opportunity, and threats. That's a SWOT analysis. So yeah, sorry. Let's go back to the entrepreneurship journey of yours, sir.
Yeah, so like I said, entrepreneurship, depending on that. So personally, for me, I really wanted a bigger challenge. So that was really not available in the corporate world at the time. I took on this. Sometimes entrepreneurs don't think too much before making the decision. Now I want to be. So it really started, and it took some time, even though it didn't take a long time. So I got the initial success. And then once you get the initial success, your confidence builds and grows. And I was able to really grow the portfolio and establish a global team and worked across continents in delivering multiple services. So it was a very thrilling roller coaster for sure. A lot of travel, getting to travel the world, really delivering some amazing capabilities for great customers who really trusted us, even though
Hmm.
we were competing with big consulting firms.
Oh, amazing. So, so it was more like the IT consulting services.
Yeah, I see consulting and global sourcing and advisory, process consulting, establishing a global sourcing and global delivery model. So
Okay.
that was real capabilities. We part of the journey. Some customers ask like, "Hey, this is a capability that can you go and set up this offshore?" So then
Oh.
we established offshore capabilities, including BPO,
Mm-hmm.
and at that time the ADM, application development and maintenance. So
Okay.
our customers really asked us to kind of establish these capabilities because they develop the trust, right? Once you
Hmm.
start working with them, they say that, okay, these folks, like the entrepreneurs working with them, they understand the gap.
Hmm.
They are trying to really help us address it. And their thought process, oh, wow, others are not getting it. Can you do it for us?
Makes sense.
So absolutely, customers really will help you grow beyond your imaginations at time.
Amazing. So they recognize the potential within us, and they will enhance us in a way. So
Yes.
then I would have to ask you a very because how do you get our customers at first point? Let's say the very beginning of the let's say I can give you a very if I can throw you a challenge, you may.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Go for
Let's say,
it.
let's say I've established a business directory website, okay, which has multiple languages in it. So a business can actually say, I can speak multiple, like I can speak English, I can speak French, I can speak Spanish, I can speak Hindi, whatever, like 5 to 6 languages. That's a business directory. So let's say if I have established something like that, how do I approach, like very quickly? Can you give me 5 points? How do I make this, startup successful? A business
So
directory website.
for any startups, you need to really say that this particular capability, who would be interested or who can benefit from this? Is this even a need of the hour? So you need to do some market survey, market research. So your market research should say that, okay, these are the skills or these are the services that are used by these people globally. Then the second part is, would they do it on their own? Would they go for another supplier? If they do it on their own, what are the advantages? If they go for a supplier, the third one is, why would they even be open for a newer supplier? Am I really adding significant value, cutting time, delivering a benefit that is not delivered by them doing on their own, or another provider where I could really say that, okay, rapid turnaround time, reduce process optimization, or like you need to define a couple of financial attributes, customer experience, or the processing time. Okay, now you say that how can I be in front of people who are influencers and decision makers? Sometimes getting to the decision makers is not that easy, right? They are very busy people and they are very selective in terms of, but you would be able to get in front of those people who can really take this and then bring this within their organizations, because they are really living it. They're sometimes living the pain and wish that somebody else really has this medicine for this pain, right? So those influences can take you inside and then make the story. Once you are able to make an, they will champion you, right? Like they become your voice of the customer, right? Like they would really say that, hey, this organization does this so well, and then you don't have to look back. I mean, I said it easier than done, but this is typically the journey that I have seen with us and others as well.
Wonderful. So let's say if when I get this into the business directory startup analogy. So point one, I would have to find out the do a research and try to find out does this actually work in the market, and
Yes.
then try to uh, differentiate between my directory and any other directories in the market and show the the USP of
Yes.
this particular website, and then try to find out the influential people in which who could actually influence the businesses, or the small ones or the big ones or the middle scale ones, and then try to back them in and try to sell the product to them so that they're happy, and then eventually it leads to success, as you said. Wonderful, sir. Amazing. So, yeah, I've learned a great deal of information today, and let's. I also know that you have a spiritual and philosophical bent to your thought process. So let's, if you're okay, can we get into
Yeah,
that? And
sure.
I've, how did that influence you in your life so that you were able to achieve the goals what you have achieved?
Yeah, so I mean, the philosophical or spiritual side of me is the real inclination to see that, is the knowledge everything that what we see, or is there a bigger cause and effect that we are not able to really see that? Because sometimes things play out, right? Like, why is this person so successful when I'm putting 10 times the effort? Like, there are questions, why me, why now, why like this, when bad things happen, but when good things happen we don't ask, right? So when we have challenges and learning, that really throws this aspect, and that was really an eye opener for me. So that also really sets you up to it will really shape you up as a real person, right? It will really tell you, treat everyone with respect, treat everyone equally. Then you would really say that I am treating myself and others equally, which is easy said than done. And at the same time, then you're open to others' feedback and input. See, that is one thing that people, smart people really will build little bit of, I don't know whether you call it arrogance or attitude, saying that, probably you have been there and done that 1,000 times. It doesn't mean that there is no better idea. So philosophical attitude really says that we need to respect everything. And there is a bigger cause and effect, because we see a 3-year-old music prodigy and somebody who has learned music for 30 years at a different skill levels. That is not easily explainable with the modern ways of interpreting skills. So the philosophical dimension really uh, puts you on the ground. I would say that, at least for me, it is like putting it on the ground, being able to take success and failure.
Amazing. So that kind of gives you the inner look. When what should I say? You will be able to scan through the situation and able to identify what exactly is happening. And as you said, when you said it puts you to the ground, that basically that's the grounding, which is letting you take off the stress which is coming out of analysis part, I guess.
Correct.
Amazing. Awesome, sir. So yeah, we are reaching to the end of the podcast now, and I really want to thank you for your presence on CLTV podcast. Having said that, One, actually, two last questions. So, question number one in the penultimate question is, uh, have you, how many, how should I say? I'm sure you have, all through your career, you have mentored a lot of people for sure. Because, so will you be interested in mentoring uh, people if probably starting with me? So, and then others who will interact with us through this podcast. And I would also request you to come back again. And we'll actually go down and chop down each and every topic and try to dissect it and get deeper into each and every aspect what we discussed today. So take us through your mentorship journey, and then also if you are interested in mentoring anyone who wants to reach out to you and seek your advice. And that's question number penultimate. The ultimate and the last question is, give us 5 tips for successful career in Canada. That's all, sir.
Wow. So, I don't know, these are really good questions, right? Like the mentorship questions in our call previously, we said that who really has been part of your success journey was one of the questions. So you develop an ecosystem. When I questioned myself initially during my early stages of life, my family believed me. My parents and my sister believed me. I don't know why, but so I thought that they're saying nice things because I'm their kid. But I think that they believed me. But beyond just saying that I believe, they were able to articulate, hey, these are your strengths. And this is where you're spending time. I know that you really love sports, but for your academic performance, you need to take a little bit of that time, chop it, and bring it back. So later, when I got married, my wife is my biggest believer and champion and motivator, and I would say that even a mentor, right? So we describe mentorship is always mutual. People who are close to you, people who are observing, not necessarily be able to sponsor you, because see, coach, mentor, sponsor is somebody who can, beyond helping you guide, can really open up opportunities for you. Not necessarily everybody can be a sponsor for you. Sometimes when I wanted to start the entrepreneurial journey, my wife said that go for it. That really is a big difference, right? Like, so in one way, she was my sponsor as well. So in professional career, coming back to, like I say that there are maybe 3 different people who will help you. One is your peer group. Sometimes we never see peers as a mentors. Peers have really the most influence about the market, how to progress. If you really weed through the peer group, you have the success and failure. So peer group really sets you up. And then your family, you really need the near and dear, depending on your structure. Like you need, whether you're close to your friends or family, their support, because they are going to be the emotional support. Then you need to find people who are really skilled in the domain, been there, done that. In a particular organization, if you're a big organization or particular domain, I would say that I've been so fortunate. Even today, I really say that I'm so fortunate that I have an amazing peer group, right? Like I'm being part of the CIO, CTO, CISO, amazing groups. One of them is Canada India Technology Council that I'm part of. Like the brain power is so much. Like I said that I really learned so much from the peer group. Similarly, all the way my polytechnic group, I'm still in touch. When I have really basic fundamental questions, I feel shy about asking anybody. These guys don't judge me, right? Like I can say, hey, Sai, hey, by the way, you know this. Those guys really say that you know this, and then they will prove that I know because it comes in a very non-intimidating way. But when you go to a professional mentor, you should be willing to do some homework, right? Like you're not really going and asking vague questions. You need to be very clear. You should be able to articulate. I've been fortunate to have great mentors that really helped me. At one point in my professional career, I thought that I'm really not able to get to the next executive level. I'm missing something. And that is the feedback that I'm getting because I'm not successful in getting those roles that I'm aspiring for. I'm getting the next rounds and all of that. But I was able to find a couple of real, I would say that mentors and sponsors who said that, Sai, are you really willing to work? I said, yes. Then come back with what you wanted to do in 5 years. I said that I just want this job. They said, no, it doesn't work like that. You really need to be able to articulate your aspirations in a slightly longer term. Let's go back and see what are the foundational skills, traits, behaviors that you need to demonstrate for you to be able to reach there. So to your question, I've been fortunate to get so many mentors. I meet with a lot of entrepreneurs. I'm part of a couple of Shulex startups as well as Tree Frog Accelerator. I do mentor startup executives. I also mentor professionally in different aspects of starting a career, writing a resume. Actually, a couple of good friends, I would say that this mentor-mentee relationship is always mutual mentoring. They actually ask that, hey, you should do a podcast about how to write a resume depending on where you are in the life. So I'm really open for that. Happy to share any experiences because where I am is with the help of these three great mentors that are part of. One is my peer group, one is my family, my wife being the sponsor and the mentor, because I get a lot of good feedback which I leverage and improve on. And professionally, I've been fortunate to get good mentors. Even if you leave that position, organization, and move on, your relationships don't move on, right? Like they stay, they grow, and they really form the ecosystem for you. Long-winded answer, hopefully.
Yeah, you kind of covered a lot of things. It had more than 5 points for successful career in Canada.
Yeah.
So uh, thank you, sir. That's the only thing I could say. And thanks a lot for sharing your experiences. I'm sure you wanted we can dig a lot deeper than what we have touched.
Yes.
This is just a periphery. So I would again come reach out to you for probably if you're as you just offered, we can discuss the idea of resume or and then how do you build a very proper resume, because I'm sure you should have interviewed hundreds, probably thousands of people. So you could take us through that one as well. That I will I'll reach out to you separately for that, and we'll schedule something on that. And thank you. That's
Yeah, no, thank you very much. I really appreciate the opportunity. Hopefully, what we discussed, I would love to hear from your audience as well, if it makes sense. And what they would like to hear, probably they can reach out to you and give you what they would benefit from it. And then maybe we can take some areas from that and then delve deeper into that.
amazing, amazing. Thanks a lot, sir. Have a great
Thank you
night.
very much.
Namaskaram.
Namaskaram.